Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes, hitting dingers, and getting listeners. We got a little off day, so we're gonna do a quick little off day pod, talk about some things that really excite me about this Brewers season so far. Uh, we'll roll a couple things back and forth, just chat Brewers for a little bit here. It's gonna be a shorter episode just because it's an off day, so off day chatter. So of course, you can always get this podcast every day at 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Um, all your platforms: YouTube, Google, Amazon, uh, Pocket Cast, iHeartRadio, you name it. We are there, guys. We're throwing strikes, getting likes, hitting dingers, getting listeners everywhere. We do live sessions, typically post game if we can, depending on the day and the availability. And those are available on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook group, you name it. You can get at me on Twitter. Miller Minute is the handle over there. Um, let's get right into the show. Let's talk about a couple things. So, first topic I want to talk about today is Corbin Burns. So, as we all know, Corbin Burns has not performed up to par so far this season. Now, a lot of people are putting the question out there. Well, is it because he's angry at the organization? Is he pissed off and not throwing um, good because he's angry? And this is like his middle finger. Like he's pissed. No, just straight up no. Because why would he hurt his own value to get revenge on his organization? That makes no sense. No player outside of a paid player back in the Black Sox would purposely play bad. There is no benefit to that ever, ever. Is he getting washed out? No, I don't think Corbin Burns is washed up, washed out. I don't think he's anything like that. He's just having trouble kind of getting in a rhythm. Baseball is a game of patterns and rhythms. So he's just not in that pattern, not in that rhythm yet. Um, Different time, different place. And I've seen this across the board. I mean, I've seen it on all different levels. People have been questioning this all day, saying, "I even posted the record just to be fun." And someone's like, "Yeah, Corbin Burns stinks." It's like, okay, he's played 2 games. Let's relax. I mean, we're all allowed a bad game or two. He starts 30 every year. Not every one of them is going to be perfect. Not every one of them is going to be a no hitter. That baseline expectation that they're going to have some clunkers. Maybe he's getting the clunkers all the way and he's going to go on to tear till game 162. We don't know. So I don't want to write that story yet. I don't think we need to write that story. I don't even really want to be having this conversation, but I wanted to address it because I saw so much negativity surrounding it. So I'm going to say what our former old good friend Mr. Rogers said and say, relax. Relax, Milwaukee. It's 2 starts into the season. Got a long way to go. I just wanted to see if there's any other reasons on my list here, and I don't really think that there is. No, I don't think there is. Then I'm going to go over to our friends over at brewfanatic.com. There's actually an article written by my friend Tim over there. And talking about the same issue that we're talking about. So we're going to stroll right into that. We're going to go from an article or from a topic to my discussion points to what he's got to say here. So basically, he had a rough start. We all know that he's had a rough start. It's not going well. You can blame that on poor weather conditions, but lack of diverse pitch locations killed them at home against the New York Mets. Corbin Burns, who most saw a Cy Young candidate again this season, gave up 6 earned runs and 7 hits in 4.1 on Wednesday against the Mets. Fortunately for the Brewers, offense bailed him out and still runs allowed are concerned. There's a recognizable pattern in the troubles. His refusal to pitch in the upper third of the strike zone stood out in Wednesday's start. The issue isn't new, but it hit him hard this time. Of the 93 pitches, 62 were in the lower third, 19 are in the middle, just 12 in the upper portion of the zone. This means a pitch ventured above the belt just 13% of the time. In fact, 12 pitches up, 7 were mistakes. Example, curveball up, away to the lefty. When the big league hitters, especially veteran ones, like those who populate New York's lineup, know they can hit, they can ignore a pitch or a location. They can zero in on an area and attack. Hitting is as much playing the percentages as guessing it's right as it is about hand-eye coordination, bat speed, and skill. So basically, what they're saying is, and they're showing good zones. So you got to kind of look at the picture here. But he even breaks down where on the home run to Alonso, or Pete Alonso hit 2 dingers, the locations and what Alonso was looking for, mistake pitches, so far and so forth. I think that's key. I mean, I think that's a big key of this. When you're talking about Corbin Burns, steady Eddie uses efficiency, uses everything he learned in the pitch lab. Yeah, I think that's crucial stuff. So, good read. Go over there to see all the graphs and the rest of the article over at brewerfanatic.com. My friends over there, my good friends, it's a community. So go join the community. I got a new video up talking about the pitch lab. Pitch clock video is not up yet. So we'll go back to Brewers news around. Series preview against the Cardinals. We've already talked about the upcoming games against the Cardinals. Cardinals currently right now are 2-4 on the season. Just playing some disappointing baseball. We'll see if they strike back and come back. Talked about yesterday's game. We don't need to cover that anymore. There's an article called 2 Unanswered Questions for the Brew Crew. Talking about Willie Adames and Willie Adames. Yeah, Willie Adames, Corbin Burns, and Brandon Woodruff. Will any of them get extended? Of course, the comments out Mark Antonazio, Kamal Gay, and Matt Arnold are, yes, we'd like to extend them, blah, 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 blah. We don't have, there's no firm answers. We ain't going to see an answer until they're either traded or extended. That's the truth of the matter. Craig Counsell is the other big question that they have. Craig Counsell situation is as follows. He's got 2 kids that are in college. They're both going to be playing sports. He'd like to go and attend those games. He's going to write it out and see where the year goes and then make a decision based off of that. That's all we know so far about Counsell. We know about Aaron Ashby return is potentially out for the season. That was already announced. There was a cute little exchange with, I don't know if you guys know this, but Garrett Mitchell's wife, Haley, is a influencer on the internet, so he called her out and said, when his wife doesn't show up, usually something good happens. She's not here. So might as well do something fun. He said that in his post-game interview with Sophia. It got a little back and forth between them and the Brewers media team. So good stuff there. Always entertaining. I am going to highlight a former Brewer, once a Brewer, always a Brewer tonight. Orlando Arcia. He had 3 hits out of three. He went 3 for 4, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, 1 walk, and 2 extra base hits. I had a walk-off against San Diego. So the GOAT is at it again. Out in, and he is actually starting in second base. I picked him up in fantasy baseball to start at second base. So that's good stuff. Walk-off winner. We'll go to the scores around the league real quick and cover any interesting other notes around the league. Like I said, this is going to be a shorter one, guys. Dodgers are up 5-2 on the D-backs. Boston beat the Tigers 6-3. The Blue Jays beat the Royals 6-3. The Giants pummeled the White Sox 16-6. Washington lost to the Rockies by it was Rockies 1, Nationals nothing. The Padres, that's the game we just talked about, were walked off by the Braves. So 6-7 was the score there. Looks like Marlins Mets was postponed. Makeup game was postponed. And then the Reds Phillies was also postponed. New York versus the Orioles was postponed, and the Astros versus the Twins was postponed. So a lot of postponed games tonight. That's why there wasn't much going on when I looked before. Postponements. So we are about a week into this season, and I just want to kind of take a minute out to talk about the rules and everything I've noticed so far. I would say being at 2 games, 2 of the 5 games I saw in person, I enjoyed the pace of play. I enjoyed everything going on. I think baseball did get a hit with this, and we can really credit Theo Epstein. If I talked about this a little bit the other day, Theo Epstein was actually the champion of trying to make baseball better. As we already know, Theo Epstein is the guy who can take credit for the Boston Red Sox getting to the World Series and winning a World Series. He can take credit for the Chicago Cubs getting to the World Series and winning a World Series. So good stuff. Other quick note about that game: Josh Hader was not in that game. So the walk off from Orlando Arcia was not against Josh Hader. I don't know why they didn't use him, but Sale gets his first win since 2021. Minor league baseball has started. I have not decided if I'm going to even talk about it or scratch the surface on that. If you haven't seen it yet, the Breaking Tees shop has a Cheesehead Home Run King shirt. It's pretty cool. Go check that out. I think it's like $28. So go buy one of those. It's pretty sweet. As far as everything else I got going for the week, guys, we're going to do some more live sessions here after some games. We're going to highlight one player right now, Brian Anderson, with the newest Brewers. He is hitting 500, 565 OBP, 1,056 for slugging, 1621 for OPS, 3 homers, and 10 RBIs. So that's great baseball right there. And I expect to see more of this from the youth and stuff like that. We're going to see some players of the week and all kinds of stuff coming up. Yeah, that's really all I'm going to cover tonight. Sal Frelick had 3 hits tonight, showing his speed. That's good stuff. So stay tuned for the next episode, which will be there'll be a live this evening after the game on Friday evening here, and then there'll be another episode tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, as there always is. Guys, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening to me ramble about the Brewers. If you got any suggested topics, anything you want to hear about, anything I don't cover that you'd like more coverage on, let me know. We try and cover the good, the bad, the ugly, and the downright ugly of every game. We try and talk about everything and anything Brewers news, and then we cover around the league because it's always good to know what's going on around the league. That being said, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for listening and or watching the Miller Park Minute. And as always, guys, go Brew.
Thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute. Go Brewers.